morning. So today I just want you to know about the main aspects and the basics in grammar. When we talk about English grammar, we talk about a sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that make sense. Now, how do we know that these group of words make sense? That is what we are going to learn today. First and foremost, when I talk about the sentence, a sentence, when I said a group of words, each and every word is identified in grammar as a part of speech. Now you know the different part of speech. The noun, pronoun, verb, etc. You have been learning it from your early days. So the different part of speech is implied into each and every word of a sentence. How are these sentences classified or grouped is very important. Now, we can either classify the sentence as different kinds of sentences, like you have imperative sentence, etc. Those are the type of sentences. Now, when we talk about the division in a sentence, we can divide the sentences into clause, phrase, and also we can divide the sentences into subject, predicate, object. These are the elements in a sentence. So, let us go ahead and begin. How does a sentence become complete? A sentence becomes complete when you have a subject and when you have a verb. Now, when we talk about a subject, what is a subject? A subject is a person, place, or thing, or even an idea that is always doing or being something. So, that is a subject. Of course, you know verb. What is a verb? Verb is an action word that you have been learning from your early days, and also a verb is being, a state of being. Now, how do we go ahead and identify what is a subject? Look at this sentence. The sentence is, the boy sings sweetly. Now, because I have colored these words and I have gone ahead and I have let you know that this is a subject and this is a verb. Otherwise, how would you know that what is a subject and what is a verb? Like I told you, a subject is always a person, place, thing or idea. But then what helps a subject to be identified? And the main important thing is the verb. Verb is the heart of a sentence. If there is no verb, there is no complete sentence. So, a verb helps to identify the subject. Look at this. First, we are going to identify the verb. If you want to know what a subject in a sentence is or who the subject is in a sentence, first we need to identify the verb. So now we know the action verb here is sings. Put the question, who sings? We are not concerned about this part of the sentence. See, the boy sings sweetly. We don't want this part of the sentence. What is main important is, first we'll identify the verb and then we are going to question, who sings? The boy sings. That's the reason when we say, we put in the question to a verb and you get a direct answer, then you know that is the subject. Similarly, the king spoke angrily. Here you know the king spoke. Spoke is what? A verb. You ask, who spoke? The king spoke. So the king is the subject, spoke is the verb. Look at this, Judy runs. Who runs? Run is the verb. you question who runs and then you get the answer Judy. Judy is the subject. Similarly, Judy and her dog run on the beach every morning. Look at the subject first. The verb first. The verb is run. Now who run? There are two who run. One is Judy and the other is her dog. So then when you consider the subject here, you say it is Judy and it is also her dog that run. So the subject here will be Judy and run. Now, when we saw the sentence, we clearly understood that a sentence consists of the subject and the verb. These are the main elements of a sentence. Again and again, I will be stressing upon the verb being in the sentence simply because it helps to identify the subject and also it makes a complete sentence. Now, the boy sings sweetly. So when we look at this particular sentence, apart from the subject and the verb, we also have sweetly. So there are other words also in a sentence that make up a sentence. But are those words really required to make complete sense? Not necessarily. To make complete sense, you require a subject and a verb. Now, let me just go ahead and read out what a subject and a predicate is. Every complete sentence contains two parts, a subject and a predicate. We just learned what the subject is. A predicate is nothing but that which tells us more about the subject. So, the boy is a subject, all the rest of this is predicate. Apart from the verb, the other words also are this constitutes the predicate. The king becomes a subject, spoke angrily is the predicate. Judy is the subject, Judy is the subject, runs is the predicate. Judy and her dog is the subject, run on the beach every morning is the predicate. Now, if we look at these examples, we see that the predicate not only consists of a verb, but it also contains different words which may be a word, which also may be a phrase. So, to make a complete sense, we require a subject and a predicate. When we talk about predicate, we mean the verb in the predicate. That makes the complete sense in a sentence. Look at this particular example. He was running to the beach to see the show. Who was running? Running is the verb. Who was running? He. He was running and hence he is the subject of the sentence. Now, we all know here right now that the carpet in the living room must be vacuumed. Vacuumed is the verb. What must be vacuumed? The carpet must be vacuumed. So, you only can see a simple word here, the carpet. And so, these kind of subjects where there is nothing apart from that main word is called as a simple subject. It does not have any modifiers. No modifiers, and hence these are called as simple subjects. Now look at this. Now if you look at the previous examples, you would see that the subject always here in these examples came at the beginning of the sentence. But is it true in all cases? No, it is not necessary that the subject should be at the beginning of a sentence. It can be even in mid-sentence. Like for example, since it's filthy, the carpet must be cleaned today. Now, most of the students, what they do, thinking that this is the beginning of the sentence, they tend to write this as a subject, which is absolutely wrong. The shortcut method of just finding a subject is wrong. Thinking that only the beginning words in a sentence are a subject is not true. What is it? How you will find a subject? You will find the verb first, action word first. Since it's filthy, the carpet must be cleaned today. What must be cleaned? Cleaned is the verb. What must be cleaned? It will answer the question, the carpet. So the carpet is the subject here, not this. This is just a simple phrase. Okay. So then on her wedding day, Lexi trembled with excitement. Trembled is the verb, Lexi is the subject. So you see, this itself forms a sentence with sense. Lexi trembled. The stars sparkled in the night sky. Okay, look at this particular sentence, children. The issue at hand is your happiness. Here, what is the verb? The verb is. The verb is. So, what is your happiness? The issue. Okay, so this becomes the subject, this is the verb. I hope you are very clear with this. Remember, subject does not necessarily only begin at the beginning of the sentence. It also might be in between. What is more important is first identify the verb. The reason I am telling you to do this basics is because tomorrow when you are learning about clauses, etc., you first need to know what a verb is, what a subject is. The rest, whatever is a predicate, we will just go ahead and learn further. Now I was talking about the simple subject. All here are simple subjects which does not have a modifier. To make things more better, let's go ahead and have a look at this particular example. The filthy mangled carpet in the living room must be vacuumed. Look at this. What must be vacuumed? Vacuumed is the verb, but what must be vacuumed? Is it just the carpet? Here the description to the carpet is the filthy mangled carpet. So the subject becomes the filthy mangled carpet. Alright? Such kind of sentences where you have addition of words in the subject which modifies a subject, gives more information about the subject, is called as a complete subject. Alright. Yesterday, Chris took the dog to the vet for her shots. So, who took the dog? Who took the dog? Chris took the dog to the vet. So, what is the subject here? Chris is the subject, took is the verb. Again, remember, it's not necessarily that the subject should come at the beginning of a sentence. This particular sentence, take out the garbage. What did I say? For a sentence to be complete, you require a subject and a verb. Then, when we know this is the action verb, this is the action word, then where is the subject? Where is the verb? We know take is the subject, take is the verb. Then where is the subject? It's missing. But still the sentence makes a complete sense, correct? Take out the garbage. In such kind of sentences, you know that this particular sentence takes you in the hidden form. So you should know that you take out the garbage. You is understood in this kind of sentence. See, the action verb is take and then you is understood. This is a command, a kind of sentence called as command. In this command, it's not necessarily that you use the word you. It is quite understood. What is the subject here? You. Take out the garbage is the predicate. So, when we talk about the predicates, we have understood that predicate always contain a verb. However, they also contain a couple of elements, and these elements may include the verb, direct object, or any other clauses or phrases. Look at this. Time flies. All these green and in italics is the subject. Go through the sentences which I am talking about right now. You can pause the video when you are watching the video. Go through the sentences and then classify them on your own. Time flies. Time is the subject, flies is the predicate. Flies also is the verb which falls into the predicate category. We will try. We is the subject, will try is the predicate. Similarly, all the other sentences. Now, here you have the birds and the bees. The birds and the bees are flying in the trees. Who are flying? First you identify the verb, then you see who are flying. The birds and the bees are flying. So this becomes the subject. Look at this. Go home now. This is again an instruction or an order. So you was missing here, but it is quite understood that you is the subject. Now you will identify the subjects. This will be your homework for you. You need to go ahead and pause the video, write these particular sentences and identify the subject. Here, although I have just said identify the subjects, but also identify the verb, because first you identify the verb, then you identify the subjects in the following case. Alright? Now, it's quite understood that a sentence is divided into a subject and a predicate. The subject and everything else, anything apart from the subject becomes the predicate. Sharon, predicate is sang the song. Subject is Patrick, predicate Patrick, and predicate becomes walked to her house. Similarly, they are experienced travelers, acquiring much knowledge as they go. I is a subject, love. Look at the verbs here. Sang, walked are action words. Here it is a state of being. I will be talking much more about the verbs in the next topic. So, and then I love walking through the woods and also twirling through the trees. These all become the predicate. However, the predicate is talking about only one person or whoever is in the subject. Let's know more about the object. Okay, now Sharon sang. This is the verb in the predicate. Sang is the verb. What did Sharon sing? It is the song. So here this becomes the object. It is followed by a verb is followed by the object. Patrick walked. Where did Patrick walk? To her house. So house becomes the object. So understand one thing, a verb may be followed by an object that complete the meaning of the verb. Look at this, it is said may, not necessarily. It may follow. So object might be there, it might not be there, but a verb is always there. When a verb is always there, then you say predicate is required. What gives predicate the importance? It is the verb that gives predicate the importance to the, so that in a sentence when we say a subject and a predicate is required, what in the predicate is required? It is the verb. Object is not necessarily required in a sentence. It is there, it is not there, it's fine. But to make complete sense, we need the verb in the predicate. However, now that we are learning about the object, always a verb may be followed by an object, and this gives a complete meaning of the verb. Objects are classified into direct or indirect object. Look at the sentence, children. How do you know what is a direct object or an indirect object? I sent my mom a postcard from Paris. What did I send? See, sent is the verb. Who sent? I sent. So, I is the subject. So, first what are you going to do in the sentence? Do not look out for subject directly. Look out for the verb. When you find the verb, and let me also tell you, there will be 2 or 3 more verbs in a sentence, but take out the main verb in a sentence. Here, the verb that will go later in detail, but right now the verb here is sent. When we talk about sent being a verb, we ask the question who sent, then it will be, you can identify the subject. Here the subject is I. Now what did I send? I send a postcard. Did I send my mom? No. I sent what? I sent a postcard. So the postcard becomes a direct object. Whom did I send the postcard to? I sent the postcard to my mom. Correct? So look at this once more. If I ask the question whom in the beginning, whom did I send? Of course, you will get the answer my mom. But do you know what did I send my mom? No. So the first thing you need to identify is what did I send rather than whom did I send. So what did I send is the first question you are going to ask, and then it will be I sent my mom a postcard, and then a postcard is a direct object, my mom is an indirect object. I hope you all understood this. Similarly, Emma gave me her gift card. What is the verb, children? Gave. What did Emma give? So who gave? Emma gave. So Emma is the subject. So in this manner, if you go ahead and start the basics of first identifying the verb, then asking the question and identifying the subject, then you can ask further questions. The first thing in anything that you do in grammar is this thing. Like I told you, this is the heart of grammar. A simple verb is the heart of grammar. This is what gives you tenses. This is what frames clauses. Alright. So, now, so gave. Who gave? Emma gave. What did Emma give? Her gift card. Whom did Emma give her gift card to? She gave it to me. So, that's the reason you have her gift card as a direct object and she gave me the gift card. Whom did she give the gift card to? She gave it to me. So, this becomes an indirect object. I hope you understand. I cannot directly ask whom did Emma give? Then you get the question me. But what did Emma give? Correct? So, then the first question should be asked, what did Emma give? Emma gave her gift card first. Then, whom did she give? Me. So, gift cards become direct objects. Me is an indirect object. Remember, we have told you object comes after a verb. Objects followed by verbs, and since there are multiple objects here, this is how you identify direct object and indirect object. Okay. Now, this is the sentence you have. These are the exercises that you have to do. Solve these examples. Divide the following sentences into subject, verb, predicate, and direct object and indirect object. So when you look at these sentences, you will go ahead and write it down, and then you will write, after you copy this sentence, one sentence, write down. First is what? Verb. Then write the answer. What is the subject? Write it down. What is the predicate? So that is how I want for every sentences this bifurcation: subject, verb, predicate, direct object and indirect object. I want it for every sentence. I don't want you to write here verb or subject S, V, D, I. No. You will first write here what is a verb in this sentence. What is the subject? First I want the verb, then you write the subject. Identify the verb first, then write the subject, write the whole predicate, then write the direct and indirect object if at all they are there. So you can pause the video, copy these sentences down, and remember, I do not want V, S on the top of the sentence. Very clearly you are going to write it down after every sentence. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 lines you have to write down this information and send it to me. The next topic we are going to know about is verbs, and I hope this was clear to you, because this was the video that is required, because you need to know the basics of grammar, and I have seen that there are clauses and there are different kinds of clauses. So for further knowledge we will go to learn more about verbs. Only then will I go ahead and talk to you about the different topics that you need to learn. Thank you very much, children. Have a great day.